Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Radha, serving as the Assistant Professor in the Department of Home Science Extension, Avinash Lingam University, Coimbatore. In this class, I am going to discuss about components of ICT enabled extension system. Let me start with the introduction. As the world moves into 21st century, the pace of globalization and the growth of new technologies such as internet as fueling both economic prosperity and human advancement. The internet itself has begun to transform the way we live and do business and is nothing short of a revolution. The information revolution is on. However, as 3/4 of our Indian lives in the rural India, it is essential that rapid and substantial development of the benefits of information revolution is equitably dispersed. To this end, various programs using information technology as a tool are being implemented towards improving the living condition of rural community. Both traditional extension methods like folk media, demonstration, puppetry, etc. are recent information technologies. Computer-aided extension, space application should be blended in a suitable manner to disseminate the innovation in the rural areas. We live in the age of information explosion. An appropriate blend of information method should be done based on the needs of the villages. Besides this, mass media should be linked with interpersonal media, as in the case of Radio Rural Forum, to increase the effectiveness of communication. Advances in telecommunication and a global communication network enable us to access, collect, process, and deliver information from one location to almost anywhere in the world. A computer and a telephone make it possible to have access to any kind of information stored in computer anywhere in the world. The capability of exchange of information on a global basis has been made possible through a powerful communication tool and satellite, which have shrunk the world into global village. Application of information and communication technology for rural sector and extension. The communication revolution can be effective for reforming a number of sectors such as agriculture, animal husbandry, health education, water conservation, etc. To name few to them, it can certainly go a long way in obtaining a number of development aspects in women empowerment, proper utilization of funds by the government, and implementation of various schemes, maintaining swift communication between the research institute and the village residents. For generation and conservation of energy resources, disaster management, revenue collection, land record maintenance, and encouraging entrepreneurship development among the village artisans. The communication revolution can be very effective in the health sector as well. Information about the various healthcare services can be effectively disseminated. Specialized camps like malaria, polio, chikungunya, AIDS eradication, etc. can be implemented very effectively using mass media based on communication technology. Effective monitoring of the major work carried out by the primary health centers and can be done. The family planning and welfare program can also be effectively implemented. Inaccessible and remote areas can be connected to the hospitals at urban areas and information can be provided to the people. Complication in health of individual patient can be discussed by doctors with specialized doctors from urban areas by use of video conferencing techniques. This can lead to an effective diagnosis and medication of the patient in rural areas. The concept of telemedicine can be also possible by use of ICT in the field of health sector. The ICT will help to connect the rural part of India with the outside world and provide information to the students and villages access to the current information. The students from rural areas will get exposure regarding what is happening of the world through this networking, which can help them to increase their knowledge and get information of various renowned education and for the higher education. It can also play a crucial role in improving and changing the education sector in rural areas. Information technology based computer as well as other education can be provided to the students from rural areas. Unemployment proves as a major ban among Indian youth. More so with of the rural youth, Such youth trained properly in computer and other ICT related aspects can be inculcated in the mainstream and employed for performing specialized jobs. This will be considerably helpful in using the talented human resources in national development. A Delhi-based non-profit organization, Vancha ICT Association, a project that provides training and technical assistance in information and communication technology to the disadvantaged youth. Similar projects can be implemented in the rural and semi-rural areas of the country, which can be very effective in improving the employment potential in rural India. The ICT sector can be a boon to the rural people by providing them information about the availability of finance through the various agencies, the purpose of availability, the changed rates of interest and repayment periods. Proper networking with cooperatives and nationalized banks with the rural areas can go a long way in this direction. Proper monitoring of the funds disbursed by the finance sources and prevention of misutilization of diversification of funds for unproductive uses can be possible by using advanced communication technology. Information regarding the various schemes implemented by the government through the Panchayat Raj institution like Zilla Parikshad, Panchayat Samiti and Gram Panchayat can be disseminated to the villages. This can be possible by connecting every village with the district headquarters through internet. Prompt and proper information about the schemes implemented by the government can be very useful, particularly to the deprived section of the society. Many projects and programs initiated by the administrator and the local people have put up in the various parts of country utilizing internet, local area network, etc. ICT can also be useful to the farmers in the field of animal husbandry and dairy sources. It can also be helpful for proper marketing of dairy product as also for providing information to the farmers regarding the same. The project like Varna Wired Village in Kolhapur district of southwestern Maharashtra has been trendsetter in this direction. The Information Village project implemented by MS Swaminathan Research Foundation in collaboration with International Development Research Center is aimed at bringing the benefits of modern information and communication technologies to the rural population. Information Kiosks is one such advanced technology development which provides information about any subject matter to the farming community through touch screen technique. It is found to be easy for the farmer access information about agriculture and allied subject by simply operating machine through touching the screen by their fingertips. Component of ICT enabled extension. Information technology refer to resource used by an organization to manage information, that is, needs to carry out its mission. Information technology consists of computer networks, other pieces of hardware, software that facilitate the system's abilities to manage information in a way that is useful for managers. Computer-based information system generally have a few basic components: an input medium, a processor, an output medium, a storage device, and a control system. Computers have become more powerful, user-friendly, and less expensive. The personal computer revolution has brought them closer to the user to make the extent, that is, number of cases users have designed and developed their own applications. However, till recently, it has not become easy to create local contact and regional language inferences to facilitate their use in their villages. In addition, although the hardware costs are coming down, the total cost of ownership of rural application is quite high. The cost of minimum required gadgets like PC, modem, power stabilizer, and printer, along with the license cost of software like operating system, database, and application as applicable. It does not justify their use of offering government-related information services just on the basis of return on investment criterion. These equipments became obsolete too soon and have high maintenance costs in rural areas. Several entrepreneurs are attempting to offer inexpensive software and hardware solution for rural application. the codec technology by Analog Communication, and the Simputer by Pico Peta Simputer Private Limited are the good example of such initiatives. These organizations develop the computer and wireless connectivity solution with indigenous components, software, and open source system. It is hoped that large scale production of a system would bring in appropriate cost-effective technology for rural application. MSSRF based at Chennai is doing various work in designing appropriate technologies for the rural poor. Informatics Network for Rural Development. The UNDP Human Development Report, according to 2001, has stated that in the network age, every country needs the capacity to understand and adopt global technologies for local needs. That is to say, the farmer and firm need to be master in new technologies, because today what is important is to unleash the creativity of its people. The multiple use of information technology are made to enhance health facilities, education, income generation of the poor families, and also people political participation. India lives in the villages, and no development efforts including information technology lead development can be successful unless it addresses rural areas and its people. The Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India sponsors various development schemes that aim at improving the standard of living of people in rural areas. This scheme are monitored by the Ministry of Rural Development and state agency coordinated by local administration in districts and implemented by agencies at block level. Community Information Center. To start with, the Community Information Center project has been launched by Ministry of Information Technology in each and every block of Sikkim and other northeastern states of India. Each communication information system centers will have one server computer system and 5 client confirmation computer system linked in a local area network and connected to VSAT for internet access. It will help the government functionaries to use email and internet for communicating with the district and state level offices. The IT infrastructure at CICs to be used to capture information about the local resources of the block and make them available worldwide through the internet, so as to attract investors from the different parts of the world. The CIC will equip to provide dial-up internet access to other government offices at the block level. The state governments are expected to make use of this facility to spread awareness about internet and evolve the business model to help the local youth to obtain gainful employment by operating internet booth, IT kiosks, and other such ventures. It is also envisaged to provide telemedicine facilities at identified in communication information centers. Samadhan Kendra, that is Solution Center. As the name itself explanatory, these centers will attempt to provide information which may be required to solve the day-to-day needs of rural population. This pilot project is being implemented in Tamil Nadu. The aim is to have 4 types of service available under one roof. An information center with a number of decision support systems for various categories of users. A large updated information bank with web connectivity to serve the information needs to the rural areas. Need-based continuing education package to identify target groups and message center. Message centers, vocational training center to promote basic computer and IT skills among the youth of the area. Varna Information Village. An information technology revolution is sweeping 70 villages in Maharashtra with famous thrill to the crore. A farmer can now monitor various processes sitting at the village. The Varna Wide Village Project connects 70 villages attached to the cooperative sugar factory of Varna Nagar, which each other and the rest of the world throughout the internet. Panchayat Raj and E-Governance. The recent development of electronic governance and Panchayat Raj gives us the insight into extraordinary possibilities ahead. Rural Knowledge Center. A network of RKC are established across the country that focus on skill building at the local level and information empowerment with the help of contemporary information and communication technology tools. Vision is to harness the power of ICT, is the knowledge, skill, economic and social empowerment of rural families based on principle of reaching the unreached to the voicing to the voiceless. Information and communication technology application to poverty reduction. This ICT can reduce poverty by improving poor people access to educate, health, government and financial services. ICT can also help small farmers and artisans by connecting them to the market. It is clear that the rural Indian as well as in much of developing world, realization of the potential is not guaranteed. Although most of the rural poor in India are isolated from the information revolution, there are several examples in rural India where ICT is used to contribute to poverty reduction in the areas of opportunity, empowerment and security. Supporting pre-poor market development. Computer about prices, data, milk collection centers, small farmers and artisans living in the rural areas typically lack access to information about the prices, data, crop weather conditions, credit facilities and market opportunities. ICT is the remedies of such information asymmetric and stimulate poor people entrepreneurship by better connecting to the markets. Changing face of rural India by means of empowerment. Improving access to government services, Jnana Doot. ICT can be used as the government agencies to transform relations with citizens and businesses. In India, as in much of developing world, it is not uncommon for the rural villages to travel long distance to the government district headquarters in order to submit applications, meet officials, obtain copies of public record or seek information regarding prevailing prices in commodity markets. This involved the loss of day income as well as the cost of transportation. Once at the government office, the relevant official record or information could be unavailable, forcing repeated visit and additional expenses in the effect of government official working with paper records enjoy a monopoly over information and records. Villages may also face discomfort, harassment and corruption on the part of public officials, or are often given incorrect information about government programs or market prices. In fact, compared of middle or upper classes, the poor end up paying a disappropriate share of their income on bribes. With ICT, it is possible to locate service centers that provide document, land records and other public service physically closer to the citizens. Such centers may consist of an unattended kiosk in a government agency or a service kiosk located close to the client. Potential benefits include increasing transparency, less corruption, better delivery of government services and greater government responsiveness, information disclosure and possibility of interacting with the public official to build pressure for the government accountability. The poor become empowered because they feel they are getting a service rather than a favor. In terms of security, improving access to microfinance is the important tool for poor people to reduce, mitigate and cope up with the risk. Computerization, smart cards and software systems providing loan tracking, financial projection and branch management information can reduce cost and help microfinance institutions to reach clients more effectively. Grassroots intermediaries. In rural areas, as in much of developing world, direct ownership and use of ICT, for instance through personal computer with internet access, minimal fraction of the population. Although it applies only a very minimal fraction of population, availability of content in local language and use of graphic and voice interface can make ICT application more accessible to poor people. Illiteracy, low level of education, gender class inequalities and also power obstacle to use of component and other ICT tools. It follows that in most cases, poor people have to rely on a human intermediary between the ICT in what it is termed as re-enter medication model. ICT enabled approach for research extension communication. The cyber extension is not for replacing the existing system of communication. ICT will augment to big way to reach the two-way interaction among the key stakeholders. The new technology offers new opportunities. It will add more interactivity, it will add more speed, it will add two-way communication, and it will add a wide range and more in-depth messaging. It will widen the scope of extension. It will also improve the quality. The continuing rapid development of telecommunication and computer-based information technology is probably the biggest factor for change in extension, one which may facilitate and reinforce other changes. There are many possibilities for the potential application of the technology in agriculture extension will bring a new information services to the rural areas which farmers as users will have much greater control than over current information channels. Even in every farmer does not have a computer terminal. This could become readily available at local information resource centers, with computers carrying expert system to help farmers to make decisions. However, it will not make extension workers redundant. Rather, they will be able to concentrate on tasks and services where human interaction is essential in helping farmers individually and in small groups to diagnose the problem and to interpret data and to apply their meaning. The researcher at university should involve the Vidya-mitra Kendra, extension functionaries, and even the farmer right from the beginning of the project. The packaging of research recommendations has to be done in more participatory way with the help of IT. The extension functionaries at district level could be taken into confidence before final packaging of the practices or technologies for each group. This way, the ICT will help both the researchers as well as the farming community to talk to each other on the regular basis. India's rural population need information and decision-making tools for better farming and for the day-to-day operations, which would improve the quality of their life and also empower them. At present, villages depend on information that reaches them by various means such as extension personnel, pamphlets, posters, radio, TV, and etc. But it is often not sufficient to maximize earning and efficiency. Environment quality concern and sustainability must all to be considered in keeping with the constraints of resource characteristics of rural India. To achieve this, a better understanding of site-specific information system is needed to cater to the specific needs of the rural population, not only to raising awareness among the poor about the potential of ICT is the another important component of successful ICT projects. Thank you.